Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Good evening. This is Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. Welcome to our program. I have two very good guests tonight. They are passionate people about helping other people, especially those victims of the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. So many people have died. 45 people died, 15 missing. And now it's in the recovery mode. So sad. So, and my guests are Todd Ronczkowski, and he is the former program director of WVON and WLS, and Jean Gaynair. She is the manager partner of the Negril Beach Club Condo. Ever go to Jamaica? She is the go-to person. Trust me. Welcome to On the Case.
Thanks for having us, Chinta. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that you read my post on Facebook. Me just, explaining my love for Jamaica and the people and how I'm trying to help them. I was flabbergasted that you had called and invited me on your program to talk about a place that I love so much.
Well, I don't know why you're surprised I call you. You're a go-to person too.
I've known you for 15 years. You never invited me on your show before.
Oh, sorry. Well, I had that program for 9 years, actually. 9 years, but that's okay. But you're on this program, which I love. It's a podcast, and it is on the Female Solution Global Network. So we are global, and I just love it very much. Now, Jean Gaynair?
Thank you for having me, Ms. Strausberg. I am truly, truly honored to be here to share our story of our destruction by the militia and the help that we are trying to motivate for the people that have been hurt, displaced, and we want to do as much as we can to lift each and every one to their upstanding place in the society.
Yes. So how did you two meet? He's in Chicago, you're in Jamaica. How did you guys hook up?
I've been traveling to Jamaica for most of my adult life, since the early 1990s. And visited several different parts of the island: Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Falmouth. And in the late 1990s, I visited Negril while actually staying in Ocho Rios, which is kind of crazy to think of the drive from one end of the island all the way to the other end of the island. And I saw the beach in Negril, and I was like, I have to come back here again. So in 2000, I came to Negril, and I stayed at an all-inclusive, and it was a fun, great time. But what I did was I stepped off the grounds of the all-inclusive, and I walked around the town, and I walked up and down the beach, and I just saw amazing people, businesses, restaurants, nightlife, the culture, the music, the food. It all spoke to my soul. And the 2 years, I came back to another all-inclusive the year after that in 2001. And then I said, I'm not going to do all-inclusive anymore. So maybe like 7 or 8 years later, in 2010, I came to Negril, and I stayed at a neighboring resort to Jean's place. And I met some friends, people acquaintances that I became lifelong friends with since then. And they were staying at Jean's place. So I toured the place, and I was like, well, this is great. I got my own kitchen. I can do breakfast, lunch, dinner on my own if I want, if I don't want to go out. And the beach is amazing. They have a great chunk of beach at the Negril Beach Club. So the year after that, I think it was like 2011, 2012, I came to Negril Beach Club, and I've been coming here just about every year since then.
Wow. And so, and that's how you hooked up with Jean Gaynair.
Yeah. Jean is the managing partner of the Negril Beach Club.
Yes.
So she's like my contact here, and we just, besides our business that we conduct, we became social friends on Facebook, commenting on each other's posts, and just birthday greetings, Christmas greetings, and every year I come to visit. And it's not only her, I come to visit her staff, which is amazing. She has an amazing staff.
Jean, tell us about your staff. I hear that they're great.
Yes, they have been. I recruit young people that graduate from high school, and I train them in the hospitality, and I motivate them, and we do a lot of work to uplift them with their family and their children. We pay school fees. We help them with a lot of stuff, send their children on training. So a lot of them have worked with us for many, many years. And it's part of the community outreach to take young people who are leaving school in the industry and to help them. And we take good care of the customer. Todd became a part of our family. It's more of a family connection, We cook some food up in the apartment. We share some of the cultural menus with them and so on. And they become a part of us. We take them to our homes, and, the workers, they'll do that, and they take them to meet their family. They take them into the deep part. So they become not just a visitor. They become a part of Negril, the unique spirit.
Well, I hope one day
you haven't lived, Chinta, until you left the resort, 20, 30, 35 minutes away from the resort town, and you spend a day with the family, and it's the cultural experience, like a Sunday dinner, like you've never had, the most amazing food coupled with the most amazing God-loving, God-fearing people in the world. It just soothes the soul.
Well, I've been to Jamaica actually twice. Once, the last time was in 1993, and I was on a crime summit. So I didn't get a chance to see the island, but I saw the goats on the mountain from my hotel room. And then many, many years ago, I went on a cruise, the T.S. Flavia. But the captain he was like my father. That's what he thought. I was his daughter. And he told me, don't wear shorts because the natives will get you. So he had me afraid of the Jamaicans for a while, and I defied him, and I wore shorts the next day. Nobody bothered me. And then he said, and then we went to this nightclub that was really beautiful, and he said, "Do not drink Planter's Punch, because if you do, they make it like it's supposed to be made." So I said, "Punch." So I said to myself, "Punch." So I gobbled it down like a fool. I could not move, Todd. I could not move. And so the ship was leaving. He came looking for me. And he said, "Did you drink that Planter's Punch like I told you not to do?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "I can't move." So he had to carry me back to the ship. I was so embarrassed. So I've got to go back there. And I need to come to Negril. That's where I need to come. So now back.
It is a different energy here in Negril, different than all the other Montego Bay, Falmouth, Ocho Rios, the traditional tourist spots. I just can't explain how much better Negril is than those other places, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you. I haven't been there to Negril, but I would like to come to get the I don't even know what kind of food they eat there, or the culture. So I would like to come one day, not on the ship the next time.
Pasta, pizza, anything you can imagine. Is just any of the chipper cuts that we have in Chicago. Just imagine your favorite one times 10, way better.
Okay. So now, Jean, how did the Hurricane Melissa affect your condo?
Well, we've been closed for the last 6 weeks because of all the damages, and the workers being displaced. But my heart swells with joy because of persons like Todd who have taken up the mantra and has been helping us to assist the workers in the recovery process, because a lot of their homes were damaged. They lost their roof, they lost all their furniture, their personal stuff, and they had to go in with families and other people into shelters. One of my worker was pregnant, and the hospital was damaged, so they set up tents. So they had she had her baby, and they were all okay. But we got all the workers hands on deck, and they've all been put in the place together, because the commerce is important to get people back on the job. So whilst we're helping them, we have to help the business to get it back together,
Yes, but was there structural damage done?
The structural damage was minimal. We mainly had water damages, because the water came in from the heavy scourge of the rain, and all our plants and the landscape and everything was a mess. A couple of windows blown in, and we've been working to get it. All the paint was peeled. We have a concrete structure, and so it stood up, but it got penetrated in some areas with the doors and the windows and so on, with the heavy wind and rain.
Okay.
Jean, just to give the viewers and listeners an idea, how many units are at the beach club?
That's
75
what
units. They're apartments.
that was what I was going to ask her. After we take a break, we'll be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair. And this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs. But beyond that, I do all things literary. And we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here. But if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors. We have nonfiction authors. We have fiction authors. This is really good. And it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I got to work, but I can't help it. Everything going too smooth. Now I just about bring my African shit like this. Bring in the African shit.
All right, we're back. This is On the Case. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. And my guests are Todd Ronczkowski, and Jean Gaynair. And she's a manager partner with the Negril Beach Club Condo. Jean, tell us, you've got 75 units there. Is it like an apartment?
It's like apartments.
And you can actually cook your food there, and
yes, and you get someone to cook for you. It's Jamaican owned property, and we teamed up together and partnered to have this place.
And so, what kind of food do you eat there?
Callaloo is very good, and the ackee and saltfish, and the fritters, and the curry goat,
Goat?
the steamed fish, the lobsters, steamed down, the conch soup, the rice and peas, oxtail. We have a serious array of stuff, and then we have some ital stew. You know, we have a large Rasta community with special menu items, which is ital. They use the coconut milk to cook down all the vegetables and so on. It's very awesome and very different.
You actually,
I'm going to add to that too, if I can. The food here is also infused by 3 different cultures. So imagine food that's traditional in Africa, food that is traditional in China, okay, and just those, and then infusing those 2 cultures together. People don't realize that there's a huge Chinese presence here in Jamaica, and it has been for years. And then the slaves that were brought over here brought their culture and food, and then they intertwined them together, and it's just amazing. The taste buds dance here.
And the Indian.
That was the 3rd culture. Yes, India.
Yes.
so you actually eat goat there?
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
it's so good. It's so good.
If you say
Curried
so,
up,
Todd.
Oh my goodness.
If you say so.
They actually use the curry goat as part of the celebration, you know, when they have a party.
Okay. Now, so like on the ship, they had this stuffed pig. They barbecued it, and it was on the deck. That broke my heart because I used to have a pet pig on our farm. So that was something. They put glasses on and a necklace over on the little pig too.
Oh, goodness. When we do like a jerk, we do the jerk, which is a lot of herbs and spices.
Mm.
And then they put it on special wood, and it is simmered for several days. And then it has a very smoky flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the jerk pork with a lot of pimento spice and so on.
Now we have jerk chicken here too, but I've never really tried it. So why do they call it jerk, and why is it so special? What makes it Jamaican?
Well, the African, they would they dig holes and pack wood of special spice, pimento wood, and then they bury the wood, and the meat is on top of the wood, and they put sheets of zinc metal on it, and they bury it, and it's lit for days, and that's how it originally started, where it would stay there on the ground and simmer for several days.
Wow.
It's very similar to the way they cook pigs in Hawaii underground.
What do they do?
The seasoning is what makes it very unique and special. The pimento leaf and the pimento seeds and so on, and the escallions and all those things that is infused, the herbs and so on that they put with it and marinate it.
I see. All right. So let's go back to the victims. Have you known some of the families of the victims, and were you able to help them?
Yes, we've been purchasing materials to rebuild the houses, and we had like some insecurity for food, so we have been getting food together and getting it shipped. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of our overseas friends have shipped food, and we get it out to the members of our staff and their neighbors, so they could have better food security, because after the hurricane, everything was locked down. You know, the stores and everything was locked down, so people weren't prepared for this intensity, you know?
Yes.
And
go ahead, Todd.
Where the hurricane hit really, really bad is the next parish over in St. Elizabeth. And St. Elizabeth is known as the breadbasket of Jamaica. Jean, can you explain what the breadbasket of Jamaica is?
Yes, so it's a farming community, and they grow all the vegetables and they grow all the fruits mainly, and they supply the entire island. It's a very large population of farmers, and that was totally wiped out.
Oh, that is so sad. So, are you getting any funding from the government? Any governments from the United States?
The world has stepped up. The world have stepped up, and quite a number of private organizations and so on have come in, and the World Kitchen came, and they set up some cooking within the communities that were destroyed, and a lot of the Caribbean islands, they send people, Spain, South America. You know, my heart breaks, because when I think of the support, the people, the love, the concern, and the care that has been shown to us, it moves me in so much ways, you know. Todd, you're right on ground with us now, so you understand. You know, it moves us, you know, to see the concerns and the care. But the more we get, because the government can't support everything, you know, it's a poor country. So the more we can get support from outside is the best. And it is really devastating. A lot of people just lost like everything their entire life. Some elderly people, they work all their life. Now, nothing.
It's so sad.
But the community, each person is taking someone in who didn't have much destruction, and people are helping each other.
Well, that's good.
To answer your question, Chinta, the United States initially gave $12 million for relief, and then another $12 million. No, I got that wrong. $12 million first, then another $10 million. And in the days, in like the first 2 weeks after the hurricane, the United States came in with military helicopters, those big Huey helicopters that, you know, could transport like 50 people in them. And they were delivering food and supplies into regions that were basically inaccessible up in the mountains, in areas where, you know, there was no way to get to them. So the United States did step up, as well as the UK. But here's the funny thing, and I don't mean to knock anybody, but, you know, Britain colonized Jamaica, and, you know, way back when. And their relief effort is nothing compared to what the United States gave. And that kind of was shocking to me when I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least we gave something. That's a good thing. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of the World Central Kitchen. I'm familiar with that organization. I understand that they gave 400,000 meals and counting.
Oh, yeah. No, they're close to 3 million now.
Oh, wow.
3 million.
2 million? Okay, that's great. That's an awesome organization.
50,000 people a day they're feeding.
Wow.
Think about that. 50,000, an operation that's feeding 50,000 people a day. I saw a post on Facebook the other day of an area here near Westmoreland. I'm not sure where it was. There were like 60 vans, taxi vans, that were loading up with food from World Central Kitchen to deliver it into the areas that are just basically still totally devastated.
Wow.
And there's places that don't have power and won't for weeks and months.
And what they did also, Todd, is that they partner up with some of the small little local restaurant. They brought in the food, and then they have the people that were living in that area that were capable to come in and help with the cooking. And so then, you know, the food was much more reachable. It was near the destination where the people are.
Here in Negril, there's Mary Gates of Heaven Catholic Church, and they run the St. Anthony's Soup Kitchen, and they're feeding about 1,000 people a day, 6 days a week. Here in Negril, and I'm looking forward to volunteering with them on Tuesday and Thursday of this week.
Well, that's great. I thought you were going to be on vacation.
You know what? I for my work at WVON, it was just impounded into me to help people. You have to help people.
Yes, that's my passion too.
What I learned there, and I'm bringing it here.
That's my passion too. I love helping people, and there's a price to pay for that, but I'm willing to pay for it, and you are too. That's a great thing. All right. Okay, so we're almost at break time. What do the people need? How can we help?
Well, if I can just say that there are so many ways that people can help, but there's also some unscrupulous people out there.
Yes.
GoFundMe pages that are out there for businesses and people that aren't theirs. Other people just set them up and are tugging at the heartstrings because they know people. There's this bar that's built out on the ocean, about an hour away from here, and it's on a sandbar. You literally have to go like 2 miles out into the ocean, and there's a bar, and it totally got wiped out. And it was a very, very famous place called Floyd's Pelican Bar. And what happened is somebody decided to do a GoFundMe page, but none of the money was going to Floyd. Floyd had to get up and go on social media and say, hey, that's not me. I'm not asking for money. Do not send money. I don't want your money. I can rebuild. I've been out here. He has that grit and that resilience that Jamaican people are known for. And I was just shocked to see that kind of bad thing was happening. So how about after the break, I can tell you about, both Jean and I can tell you about ways that we can help.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more of On the Case right after this.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Thank you so much, Naima Latif. This is On the Case. I'm Chinta Strausberg, your producer and host of On the Case, and we are talking to Ronczkowski. He is the former program director for WVON and WLS, and also Jean Gaynair. She is manager partner of the Negril Beach Club Condo. That is a place to go. She is the person to go to, a go-to person if you ever come to Jamaica. Now, you were talking about the fraudsters, and I know that there were thefts too, looting.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yep.
Jean may know more about that.
Yep. There was looting, and they do that all the time, no matter where it is. And I think that is outrageous that they would do that to people who are suffering like that. But yeah, there was looting there.
Desperate times,
Yeah.
Desperate times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Go
so
ahead.
I was talking about the people that are unscrupulous. But there are many ways to help, and there have been funds set up by the government. But it's like, does that reach the people in need? when you're talking, this is a population of 2.8 million people. Think about Chicago, where we have 3 million people. Just on a sidebar, over 600 schools and a population of 2.8 million people were damaged. 200 of those schools severely damaged. The kids don't go to school right now. They're in recovery mode. Schools were being used as shelters, the ones that were still standing, and so, anyways, going back to the helping, there's all these different funds. The government has set up funds. But I was like, how do you help people? And it's going to get to them. And I was like, Jean's got 19 employees, meaning 19 families. And I thought to myself, if I can reach out to my friends and neighbors and ask them to help, and I've been very successful at that, I chose to help Jean and her people. And yes, there's many people that need help here all across the island, and especially in Western Jamaica. But I thought, I'm going to adopt these 19 families, and I was hoping as many people could do the same. You can donate to World Central Kitchen, and they are doing an amazing job here. But I don't know how long they're going to be here. There's some talk in the government that the government doesn't want them to be here much longer, which I was shocked to read the other day.
Well, what's the reasoning behind that? I don't understand that.
I don't know the details. I was just a little article I read in the Observer or the Gleaner, which are the local newspapers here. Jean, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I did hear.
What did you hear? What did you hear?
Well, the government said that they would like to get the people self-sufficient. They want to get them up and running, and they're thinking about their pride and their dignity over a long-term period to be just handing out. And so this is why we're trying to really get people back to work. We're trying to get their roofs repaired. And so some of the people, rather than we give them money, what we do is we get the hardware store and we order the goods that they need, and we try to get action, get someone in to fix their thing, and we get the commerce rolling, So all the businesses are getting open and things are getting back on track in normal way.
Yes, but that takes time, and in the interim, people do need help, and they should not be ashamed of that. I would think.
Yes. I think they're thinking about having this thing on a long-term basis. But for me and Todd, we're trying to get the people active, get them self-sufficient, get them working, get them fixing the places so they can get back to normalcy,
And tourism is the main drive of the economy of Jamaica, especially here in Western Jamaica, where there's not the big businesses that you find in Montego Bay or Kingston. It's tourism. It's basically the main driving economy here in Western Jamaica. And people come to Jamaica. It is not closed. It is open. It is beautiful. Jamaica.
As Todd was saying, when he came to Negril, was like a sleepy fishing village. It's like that's where the hippie used to run away to in the 60s to hide away from the war. And they adopted a lot of the Jamaican family, the fishermen. And so that's how Negril really started. And another little history about the Westmoreland area. It was colonized by the British with sugarcane farms and so on. So a lot of these homes, they were on these land where they have like the board wooden houses, which is a temporary thing because they don't own land. So they don't put up like a concrete structure. So this is why it was so devastating, because a lot of these are temporary structures that people put up on these lands because they worked on the sugar farms and so on over the many years. And the British has left it, and they're privately owned now. And but they don't have like land security. So with the hurricane, and it just took away everything they owned.
Wow. So the produce that comes from Jamaica, is that sugar? Is that your main product?
Sugar. It was sugar and bananas and coffee. Sugar, banana, coffee, and now we also did bauxite at one time. That was one of our main source of income. But
And
then
bauxite is the metal that is used to make aluminum. For those
Yes.
that didn't know what that is, so that's where aluminum comes from, bauxite. So mining,
Bauxite.
and most of that mining is done by Chinese. So the money that's reaped from it doesn't stay here on the island.
No, it doesn't stay here.
And so what are
So tourism is one of the big major thing for the island. Tourism.
Mhm. And what do the Chinese
They're not
contribute?
exporting.
I'm sorry, what do the Chinese contribute?
They had a hospital ship that they sent, and they did send in some supply. I'm not sure monetary what they had sent.
No, I mean when they live there, what do they have businesses there or what?
The Chinese,
Yes.
because the hospitals were damaged, that's why the ship came over to Montego Bay. So they were taking care of a lot of the sick people, the patients.
Well, that's good.
I think what Chinta was asking, the Chinese residents of Jamaica, what do they contribute? They own most of, like at home in Chicago, the corner stores are not, like you go on the south or west side of Chicago, and your corner store is not a black-owned store, right?
No, it's
Same
Arab
thing
owned.
here in Jamaica. Most of the stores are Chinese-owned.
Oh, okay.
The Chinese that are here, the ones that have been here from the way back centuries ago, they do contribute strongly to humanitarian cause, and so there is a food for the poor, and they build houses and stuff like that, and there's quite a large number of different families that do contribute to charity and support schools and hospitals and so on, and the less fortunate. So they have been pretty active. Then there is a new set of Chinese that would come in now. I don't really know of their contribution, but the backbone of the backbone of the Chinese community have always been very supportive. They do help.
Well, that's good. What about the Indians? What kind of businesses do they have there?
They're also in food and haberdashery, and they're into investments, hotels. They're into many agriculture. They're into many things, and they do contribute extensively to the cause.
I
But
believe
this is
that.
such a cause. This is such a cause that is so big that no one individual person or group or whatever, it needs a big force to really uplift and get this thing up and running and overcome. You know, the destruction. You know.
Yes, absolutely. And what about African Americans? Do they have businesses there too?
Oh yeah, they do. And they have been coming to support the cause, a lot of volunteer and a lot of charity organization that have come in.
Okay. All right. So tell us, where can we send?
Up on the break, Chinta, but on the next segment, I'd really like to talk about how people can help, how your viewers and your listeners can help Jamaica, Jean and her people. If we could do that, that would be awesome.
You just take the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. So anyway, before we go on break, we have a couple of minutes before we go on break, Todd. So is there a certain travel agency that you go to come to Jamaica?
Me? No, I just go online, I book my flight, and then I call Jean and say, Jean, I'm going to be here these days. That's how I do it.
All right.
And I totally recommend. I mean, if you're a first-time visitor to Jamaica, you know, that's up to you. I know people love all-inclusive. How can you not? Where you get catered to, and the food and the drinks, all you can eat and all you can drink. But you're not visiting an island. You're visiting a resort on an island. Come out and be with the people. There are so many Black-owned hotels here.
What?
Jamaican-owned hotels.
You're kidding.
That are just phenomenal.
You're kidding.
Well, Jean's an example. No. Her neighbor at Travelers, Charlia down the road. These are all Jamaican-owned, beautiful places.
Yes, restaurants, bar, activities, water sports, tours to the mountain. All Jamaican owned.
Well, that's good. Well, I told you the time that I was on the crime summit, and I didn't really look at the island, but I took a walk one time because I had written 21 stories. And so I took a walk and I found a little store, and there was this man, and he looked like Father Time. He had a white beard and white hair, and he had this beautiful cane, and he was just sitting there. And I walked by and he said, "You want some ganja?" And I said, "Ganja? What is that?" And he says, "Ganja." And so I said, And I walked away, and I told Reverend Harold Bailey, because he was in charge of the crime summit at that time. And I said, I saw this Father Time, and he offered me some ganja. What is that? He said, "Darling, sister, you do not want to take that." And when he told me what it was, I was highly offended. We're going to take a break. We will be back with more of the Female Solution right after this.
Brother, in which we're doing this documentary for Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude.
And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
We're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. My guests are Todd Ronczkowski. He's a former program director of WVON and WLS. And we're also talking to Jean Gaynair, and she is manager partner of the Negril Beach Club Condo in Jamaica, Westmoreland, right? Is that it?
Westmoreland.
Okay. And so how far is that away from the capital of Jamaica?
Kingston is the capital. It's approximately a 3-hour drive from Kingston to Negril. But Montego Bay is our main airport where you fly in to the western side of Jamaica. And it's approximately an hour and a half from Montego Bay to Negril.
You know, when I think of Jamaica,
when I first started coming to Negril,
Mhm.
it was a 3-hour drive. It was a 3-hour drive before they built the road. It was a gravel road along the sea. It took 3 hours to get here in the late 1990s.
so if you get a taxi from the airport, how much will that cost?
I paid $80 today.
Wow. But when I think of Jamaica,
There's cheap way. You can pay that was for a private taxi. They now have Uber here, and I did actually just check the rate for Uber from Montego Bay to Negril, and that rate was about $60 using Uber. But there's also cheaper ways. They have buses that come from the airport for about $25.
so do they have like how do you say, carts where people pedal like in Chicago?
No.
No horses, no horse carriage.
No. They have a great transportation system here. Like, it's called route taxis. I think it's great. For about $1.40 US, I can get in a route taxi, and I may share with other people along the road, and I can drive maybe 10 miles down the road for $1.40.
Oh.
I can also go up to the town here, which is like 2 miles away, for $1.40. Get out of that cab, get in another one, and it'll take me down another route down the same road. So there's stops every X amount of miles where you would have to get out and get another route taxi and continue on your journey.
Mhm.
But it's really economical, and that's how Jamaicans get around. Yes, there are other taxis, private taxis, that would charge you $15 for what I pay for $1.40. So you kind of have to know the system.
I bet. And so I went to Freeport when I did go way back. Is that still there with the nightclub and the casino?
That's in Bahamas.
Oh, that's in the Bahamas. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, the casinos are still there.
Okay. All right. And what do you have?
Excuse me, did you went to a nightclub in Freeport in Jamaica?
I thought when I told you about the captain, that was in the Bahamas, not Jamaica. So I went to Jamaica one time. That was during the crime summit. But yeah, I went to the casino. I won money too.
Nice.
But then after I started winning, I started losing. I had to leave.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yes. Well, so what kind of entertainment do you have in Jamaica?
Live music.
There is so much. We have art shows. We have music festival, jazz festivals, and we have the bands that do reggae, and we also have the cultural mento with the drums and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of activity, there's boating, they parasail, they go snorkeling, they do scuba diving, they go mountain hiking up into the hills to rivers, and zip lining, horseback riding,
dolphin coves.
So when I saw the goats on the mountain from my hotel room when I was at the crime summit, how do they get up there? And do they really live up there, or are just the goats up there?
They're wanderers. They're not animals that stay in one place. They like to roam. So they're freedom kind of animals. They run up into the hills and so on.
And what, the people actually live up there?
Yes, people live in the mountains as well.
But how do they get up there?
they create paths and ways to get up there, and this is why even during the hurricane and so on, it was very hard trying to get up there, and that's why they had to get all these helicopters and so on to go and rescue them and to bring them food and so on, because the roads to get up there, they're cut off, and as well just little pathway where you just walk like a little graveled road, the traffic don't go up that hill, in those mountains.
I know that the time is running short on the show, and we're going to get the way to how people can donate. But something really unique happened here in Jamaica after Melissa. This is the biggest storm the West Indies, Caribbean has ever seen cut through an island at a Category 5. And so much rain came that it filled up the aqueducts, the groundwater system, and springs started to pop up all around the island. And rivers started to flow out of the ground that have never flown before.
Wow! But I understand you had problems with the water too, with germs or disease or something.
Initially, right after the storm, and people were in need of water, they would just drink the water from the stream, which was untreated, because a lot of debris would have gotten in there. But there's a lot of help that came in, and they set up a lot of water treatments near to the source so that it could take care of that. And they tried to educate the people that they can't just drink the water from the stream. In the old days, we would boil the water to purify. But then, because of the desperate situation, they would just go to the stream after the hurricane and fetch the water.
Mm-hmm. Do they have wells there?
Underground
springs.
Underground springs.
Oh, underground springs.
I visited a place like I think it's Springfield or Springs. What's in Springfield? I think it's not too far from here. Where I went to visit a friend a couple of years ago, and on their property they had just this rock wall, and a spigot of water about 6 feet high just constantly came out. The purest water. It was so good, so fresh, so cold. You could put your face right up to the rock and drink it.
Well, and it wasn't germy or anything?
Not at all.
No.
It's like better than bottled water.
It's the hurricane that would have caused some contamination from all the debris and the stuff that's blown into the source,
Yes. I'm glad to hear that, because on our farm, before the city changed the rules and we had to have indoor everything, we had a well, and I learned how to pump water out of a well, but I wouldn't drink the water because it was brown.
Oh, the water here is crystal clear, the spring water.
That's good.
It's like Ice Mountain. Oh, it's so good. If I had the means to, I would go to that spring right now and fill up the 5-gallon jugs because it's so good.
That sounds like Union Pure, Michigan. My uncle had a home up there. The children have it now because he passed. But down the street, there is this, I call it my secret island, where they have these tall, beautiful trees, and there is water coming out of the ground, but you had to wait to get your water, because you actually bring a jug, and you get the water from the ground, but you have to wait until the deer drink first. I thought that was a beautiful thing. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I can imagine that happening there too. And by the way, what kind of animals are there? Deers?
Cows, goats, pigs, we have chickens.
Okay.
What are those animals that they're like weasels? What are those?
Weasels.
Mongoose.
Mongooses, yes, they got mongooses too.
Now, I know you don't eat that. I know you don't eat those, do you?
No, they brought them in to get rid of the snakes when they planted the sugar cane.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, but they stayed and never went away.
Okay.
So Can we talk about how people can help, Chinta?
See, there you go. That was my next question, Todd Ronczkowski. So how can we help?
I'm looking at the clock. That's the radio in me. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the clock. It's like the show's almost over.
I'm looking at the clock too. So how can we help? How can we help? Stealing my stuff here.
Well, I want to talk about a couple of ways that people can help. There are many ways people can help, but there are people on the ground here, and I've got three charities that I want to talk about, and then Jean's going to talk about how people can help the 19 families here and their neighbors. First of all, World Central Kitchen. You can donate to them. They do unbelievable work all around the world. They've got an army of people here in Jamaica. They have an army of people in the Philippines because they just had a typhoon about the same time Melissa came here. So that goes into a general fund that just helps whenever there's a disaster. Here in Jamaica, the United Cajun Army, you know them from Katrina. They came in after Katrina and they helped Katrina, the victims of Katrina, fed and rebuild. They're doing that here in Jamaica. So the Cajun Army, the Cajun Navy out of Louisiana. There's also a grassroots organization that has been like an angel to the people of Negril for the past 10 years called One Love Brigade. And you can find them at onelovebrigade.com. They started out by just basically bringing bicycles to the people of Westmoreland years ago. Now, today, they're literally rebuilding a school. They started about a week ago. Somebody said, hey, I want you to see this. They went up to a school that was totally devastated. They're rebuilding the school.
We're almost out of time.
Organization.
Yes, we're almost out of time.
Tell about, let's get that Zelle number out, okay? How people can help your people, that Zelle number.
It's 754-312-0221.
Say it again.
And,
so you can.
It's too late. We have to go. We have to go. I'm sorry. We're talking to Todd Ronczkowski and Jean Gaynair. She is the manager partner of the Negril Beach Club Condo. Thank you so much for being our guest on the case.
A pleasure being here.
Thank you, Chinta. Thank you very much. Donate. It helps. Donate.
Promise.
754-312-0221.
And if you have any flyers, please send them to me so I can push that out, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.